Cognitive biases and how to apply them in sales. Whether we realize it or not, we're all biased. And for most people, including myself, we tend to think that we are less biased than the average person. And chances are, if you think that way, that itself would make you biased. So today in this video, I want to be able to walk you through how we can understand and recognize these type of biasness and how to utilize that in sales so that you can increase your conversions, whether it's one-on-one, whether it's one-on-many, whether it's selling on stages, whether it's selling on webinars, on sales videos, so that you can understand human psychology, how our brain works, and utilize them in sales, marketing, closing, and persuasion. Let's begin. The first type of bias would be the choice supportive bias. Now that means it is said that whatever it is that we decide, if we choose something, so let's say Apple versus Windows, chances are we will defend the choices, the beliefs that we make based on the things that we say and choose in life. So what does this mean when it comes to selling and persuasion? Rather than enforcing a statement on someone, it is way more powerful to ask a question and get them to say it, because now, rather than closing them, your audience would be closing themselves instead. So here's an example. A typical marketer or speaker or closer or salesperson would usually enforce an opinion or belief or statement on somebody. That's how most amateur, average salespeople do it. So, for example, it would be coming from the angle of,
did you know that Facebook ads is a great way to get more leads? Did you know that real estate is a great way to build and accumulate wealth?
So notice what I just said. That was in the form of a statement. However, if I turn it into a question instead and allowed my audience to say it, it becomes very different, right? So how would the question sound like? A question would sound like this. It would be like, if you were to acquire leads in a more effective way, what methods do you think you should be adopting in your business? And what you're going to do now is you're going to listen. So if let's say I was a Facebook ads provider, if let's say I was a digital marketing agency, I'm going to be listening now by asking the right questions, because now when my audience says it, when my prospect says it, it's going to be way more powerful than me enforcing that opinion on them. So this could be, for example, on a webinar, on a presentation, rather than saying,
did you know that after you leave this event, the thing that you'll need is you'll need coaching, you'll need mentorship, you'll need accountability, you need the right environment, you need the blueprints, you need the step-by-step plan.
Rather than saying all of that, because that's what most amateurs do, it's the form of a statement. Imagine if I rephrased it in the form of a question instead, to allow my audience to say it and let them to close themselves. So what would this sound like? It would be like, so let me ask you this. After you left this event, this presentation, this webinar, this page, what do you think is required on your end in order for you to be successful applying and implementing these strategies? And then you pause, and then you allow your audience to say it if it's on a live event, on a platform. Now they're typing in, oh, I need the right process, I need to be taking action, I need the right mindset, I need to be able to have accountability, I need to be able to have the right plan of action. So as they're saying all of those things, what do you say? All you say is, that's right. Now notice the difference and the shift. Now I'm not enforcing my opinion or this statement on them, because that's when it's met with resistance. I'm asking the right questions, because when you say something, it only means one thing. But when they say it, it means everything. And that brings us to number two. Number two is confirmation bias. Now there's a saying in marketing, which is, people will do anything for those who encourage their dreams, justify their failures, reduce their fears, and confirm their suspicion. Now this is huge. And the reason why that's huge is when somebody, if you can confirm their suspicion about this thing, fill in the blanks, that's when your audience is gonna feel like they're understood. And being understood is way more powerful than understanding. So what does this mean? It means that if you're doing a pitch through a sales letter, through a sales video, through a one-on-one call, you want to think about what are some of their suspicions, and you want to be able to confirm those suspicions. So for example, if let's say you are selling supplements in the keto diet space, right? And right now they are, you know that one of the things that they're going through is they've been trying a ton of stuff, right? They've bought those, you know, as seen on TV type of gadgets. They've bought the shake weight, right? They've tried all these different things, and somehow it doesn't work. So what can you do? You can confirm that suspicion, right? It would be like, have you ever wondered why you've tried all these different programs and maybe some of them kind of worked and you've yo-yoed back and forth, but you haven't really gotten any real results? And have you ever wondered what is the real root, real cause, right? And now you're getting them to think like, okay, yeah, like that makes sense. Like, why have I been, you know, doing all these things that haven't been getting results? And now when you confirm the suspicion, it's because, well, number one, those things are short-term and you're not getting a long-term sustainable result. And the reason for that is because these dieting programs, they're asking you to take these weird green shakes 5 times a day, something that you hate doing. And maybe it works out for you for 3 days, 5 days. But after that, guess what? You just go back to your old eating habits, only to go back to your old routine and lifestyle and weight. And the reason for that is because it's not sustainable. Wouldn't you agree that in order to get long-term sustainable results, you got to be able to have a realistic diet, something that is sustainable, that is realistic, that you would actually enjoy eating, right? So now it's confirming the suspicion of, oh yeah, that's right. You know what? If I want to have long-term results, I can't just give up my favorite foods completely. It's got to be realistic. Therefore, maybe this keto diet program would be able to give me this long-term sustainable results because I don't have to give up my favorite foods, right? That's how you can confirm their suspicion. This can be applied to any market. Which brings us to number 3, and that is the anchoring bias. It is said that the first information that we get and the effect that it has on our brain is tremendous. So this means, think of it as kind of like if you went to a salesperson looking for a car and the opening price for this car was, say, $50,000. Now, if you were to return after a day, a few hours, a week, and now this price is slashed from $50,000 to $30,000. Now, in your mind, it would be like,
Wow, it was $50,000 and $30,000 now.
because of that, it feels like you're getting this tremendous discount because it was once in your mind perceived as 50,000, but now it's reduced to 30,000. Right? Same thing if I were to ask you to think about, well, how high do you think, or rather, how many kilometers do you think Earth is to the moon plus minus 1 million kilometers? How far off do you think it is from Earth to the moon when it comes to 1 million kilometers, right? Do you think it is, how many kilometers do you think it's further or below 1 million kilometers? Now, if I get you to think that way, what I've done is I've set a benchmark that it's 1 million. Now, chances are it could be, maybe it's more, maybe it's less, right? You could be even Googling for the answer right now. But whatever it is, I've set this benchmark and now you are thinking from this number. You're starting from this number. Now, this is very powerful in sales. You see, when it comes to sales, you got to be thinking about getting your audience to think of a number as a benchmark for what it is that you do and a result that you provide. So for example, okay, now if you could even stack this with the first principle that I showed you. So, and which is what? Getting them to say it. Think about if, let's say, you were a done-for-you service provider helping people build marketing funnels. And you're all-in-one marketing agency where you help them run ads and build up their marketing funnel to acquire more leads, to convert leads to sales. So imagine if you got your audience through that sales video or through that webinar or through that one-on-one call. What it is that you say would be, for example, asking them a simple question like, let me ask you this question. If you could build a funnel that actually works, that helps you convert leads to sales, and if all this did was to help you get one high-ticket client a week, after 52 weeks in a year, how much would that be worth to you? So now in their mind, they're going, oh, wait a second, one high-ticket client is worth 10,000. Multiplied by 52 weeks, that's 520,000. That's a big deal. Now they're thinking, what's the benchmark? The benchmark is 520 grand. That's the number that they're starting from. So that means if you did a decent job, and now that you've anchored that $520,000 in their mind, over the next 90 minutes, over the next 1 hour, over the next 2 days, depending on what modality you're doing your presentation in, if it's a live event, if it's a webinar. Now, when you actually reveal your price, which could be 30,000, 50,000, 10,000, compared to the 520,000 in your mind, that's cheap, right? And you could do this in any market. Some of you could be thinking, well, what if in my market, it's not a direct ROI type of thing? What if it's health? What if it's like skincare or confidence? Well, it could be same thing. It's just get them to think about the alternative, right? So it would be like, how much do you think a hospital bill costs these days, right? Or how much is it worth to you if you were to build up a level of immunity in your body so that you hardly fall sick, right? How much would that be worth to you? So this could be in terms of the hours they save. It could be the reduction in their overheads or expenses, the additional income that they'll make in terms of getting more leads, more sales. But now, if you can begin with that number to get them to think so that they're anchoring that number in, that it's going to be way higher than your offer that you make eventually on that sales video, in that one-on-one call, in that presentation, in that webinar, that is when, in contrast, because the number is just relative, it's going to appear to be a whole lot cheaper, and now it's a deal because of that contrast in that price anchoring. And that brings us to number 4. Number 4 is the placebo bias. Now, it is said that positive people have a more positive life because they have a more positive thinking. But the reality of it all, if it's a placebo, it means it's kind of like this. If you truly believe that this pill that you took will help you get more energy levels and to be more positive and to have mental clarity, there's a good chance that the pill that you just received is going to work for you, even though that pill could be just a pill that is pure sugar or just a pill that's just vitamin C. And the reason for this is called the placebo effect, where you believe in something so much that ultimately it manifests and it turns out to be true for you, even though that thing may not necessarily have resulted in that thing. So what does it mean for you? It means that when you're making an offer, and by the way, please do not get it twisted, because some people are going to be saying,
Peng Joon's asking you to market something that's not.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is what makes a great offer is not just the offer itself, but rather the belief and the perceived value of your audience in whether they believe when they execute it, whether they would make it work for them. Now that is going to be way more important, if not as important, as the result of your offer itself. So let me give you an example. If let's say you could be in weight loss, right? And there's 2 ways to lose weight. Method number 1 is you could sign up for my personal training, where I could train with you, where we meet up every other day. It's $100 per session, where you train with me, I make you sweat. It's a gruesome training, and after a year, you get results, right? Or, on the other hand, you could sign up for LIPOSUCTION, and it's I don't know, like 30,000, 50,000, and probably your body will feel sore for a couple of weeks, and you're done, right? That could be the second option. Or the third option is you could buy my ebook or my digital product that's only $50, and you could go through all of the trainings to have a similar outcome, weight loss, and do it your own for only $50. Now, why is it that one product can be $50, whereas the other could be $30,000 or $50,000, even though the outcome is the same? One of the reasons is because the perceived belief that you have is, chances are, that person might believe that the outcome, just like that, and their ability to execute and get that result is a lot higher with getting that liposuction. Now, obviously, I'm not here to debate whether liposuction or a course or personal training, right? You do whatever it is you want. My goal here is to show you that if you want to increase the perceived value of your offer, it is also in enabling your audience to see their ability to execute. And the more they believe in the result and them actually doing the work and making it happen, the more valuable your offer would be when it comes to making that sale. what most salespeople do is they talk about a bigger goal, a bigger promise, a bigger result. And that's what most people do. But what most people don't do, what most salespeople and marketers don't cover, is thinking about, well, how can I get the audience to see and believe in their own ability to execute it? Where it's not just placebo, but them actually believing it. Now, whether they can do it or not, right? Obviously, you want to incorporate it as part of your process or your product to make sure they execute it. But the belief itself is going to have a huge difference in your conversions. And that brings us to number 5, which is to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. If you're enjoying this video so far and if you want to be able to watch more videos just like this one, be sure to switch on the bell notification. We release about 3 videos every single week talking about sales, marketing, ads, psychology of selling. And if you enjoyed this one, there's a good chance you'll be able to enjoy our future videos as well. And let us know in the comments which one is your favorite so far that you foresee yourself utilizing in your presentations. We're constantly giving out prizes to random comments as well as the first to comment. So you want to make sure that you switch on the bell notification if you want to be notified and to be the first to comment to win prizes as well. So that being said, what is number 5? Number 5 is the bandwagon effect. Now, it is said that if you were to put 10 people in a room and if 9 people agree to go with plan A, and if the 10th person actually disagrees, the 10th person would actually just keep quiet and not even disagree to begin with. And that's called the bandwagon effect. Now, what does this mean when it comes to marketing and sales and closing? Well, it just means the power of social proof, which is if everybody is doing it, there must be something about this thing. Okay, so the question now is, how can we utilize and show and demonstrate to our audience that this thing has worked not just for you, but other clients? Can you show them through case studies and testimonials that it's worked for people just like them in a similar industry, in a similar demographic? And your ability to do that is going to be in direct correlation to your closing rate, because now your audience is thinking, well, if it worked for all these people, surely all these people can't be lying. Surely all these people can't be this person's friend. Surely there must be something about this offer and this product. So there's many ways to do this. So this is known as like the table rush in my world, in the world of speaking. This is known as when like a ton of people are rushing to the tables to sign up and buy something. That's when everybody's going like, what's going on here, right? Surely there must be something about this offer. So you might notice that on sales pages, it's very similar as well. I use a plugin that shows whenever somebody buys something, there might be a pop-up, and you might have noticed this as well. It says, you know, so-and-so just bought this product, right? Now, what is that? That's to act as social proof to cater to the bandwagon effect, to demonstrate that, hey, a lot of people are utilizing this, a lot of people are getting results doing this, and chances are, if these demographics that's very similar to you have done it and have gotten results like this, there's a good chance you'll be able to do that as well. So what's going to be way more powerful in your presentations is not just when you say how great you are or the results that you've gotten for you, because that's how most marketers start, right? Most marketers begin the journey, and you can see like the evolution of how it goes by, you know, normally they'll show like,
Hey, take a look at how much money is in my bank account. Take a look at my Lambo. Take a look at my 6-pack abs.
right? It usually begins with them. But a much more powerful way when it comes to closing is when you go beyond that and show the results that you've generated for your clients and what it is that they've done. That's going to be way more powerful than just showing the results that you've done for yourself. I hope you enjoyed these 5 cognitive biases. With great power comes great responsibility. Understanding these principles can be used for both good and evil, right? Understanding these principles is neutral. And it is up to you to hopefully market your product that genuinely adds value to the marketplace. And if it does, then it would be your moral obligation to do that so that you can help more people. This is Peng Joon here. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you want to be able to understand how to sell a lot more effectively, be sure to binge watch this entire playlist that's going to appear in front of you in about 3 seconds. Here we go.